This spring's unseasonably wet weather hasn't just impacted Michigan farmers' ability to get crops in the ground, it's also impacting forage quality and supplies. According to the National Ag Statistics Service, on-farm hay stocks are down 80,000 tons compared to last year, a drop of almost 31%. Planning for the lack of supply now may help farmers later in the year as winter feeding season approaches.
This really started a few years ago with some farms trying to cut down on feed inventories. Just from a cash standpoint, so reducing the amount of inventory that they had and turning that cash into something else to pay bills or whatever. So the financial crisis in the dairy industry really precipitated that. And so guys were bringing those numbers down. We had some kind of difficult growing conditions last summer as well, some drought that set us up, and then the spring winter kill in a lot of the alfalfa in really everywhere from South Dakota to New York, pretty widespread, maybe the widest spread I've ever seen. And then the delayed spring with a lot of open acres. So yeah, it's just compiling. And even now there's a lot of uncertainty because even the acres that were planted are very small. You know, we're seeing that, you know, this corn isn't going to be pollinating till late August or maybe September. And we still have the potential for a drought or something else that could impact that. So yeah, a lot of uncertainty yet on whether or not we're going to have enough feed to feed the cows this winter. Up until this point, we've been focusing a lot on warm season annuals, so things like sorghum sudan, millet, forage sorghum. So warm season grasses that excel at growing, you know, a lot of tons of feed in the middle of summer. They're drought tolerant, they like heat. In the next couple weeks here, we're going to start transitioning to cool season mixes. So following winter wheat on some prevent plant acres yet, you know, doing things like small grains like forage oats and annual ryegrass and maybe triticale, things to try to still grow feed yet this year. There's a whole host of different forage options. It's just a matter of figuring out, okay, what kind of feed am I looking for? What kind of animals do I need to feed it to? What kind of inclusion rate do I need? And then we've picked the right species, right varieties, right ratios, and we put a system in place for that. But generally speaking, the most expensive things in our rations on a per pound basis are well, some of the concentrates, but like alfalfa costs us a lot of money to grow per pound. And when I'm putting budgets together for farms, if we truly look at all the cost in it, we're at usually like 8 to 9 cents a pound dry matter. Things like unproductive corn silage all of a sudden gets really expensive when you start putting a $250 or $300 land value on it. So we're trying to eliminate things like that. And if we can replace something that's 8 cents a pound with something that's 5 or 6 cents a pound, you know, that turns into real money quickly. And so between, you know, using more alternative forages that generally cost us less to grow and are maybe more consistent in their productivity than some perennial crops, and focusing on tightening up our rotations to increase our corn silage yields. Those two things we can, you know, usually drop our cost per pound of dry matter by a penny or two in a ration.